Welcome to the Yessy's Designs Knitting Podcast, episode 16. I'm Yessy, I'm the maker and the designer behind Yessy's Designs, and I hope that you enjoy this episode that my son and I have prepared for you today. I'm going to start showing you some progress on my blanket. I'm gonna share with you some of my webs, finished pieces, and I am gonna share with you my plans for Rhinebeck. Let's talk about that Rhinebeck sweater. Let me know in the comments where you are from. Let me know if you're working on a project as you watch this podcast. Are you maybe doing some cleaning as I keep you some company? Let me know what you're doing as you are watching today's episode. Okay, let's dive in. I'm gonna start showing you progress on my Cozy Memories blanket. This is a pattern that is on Ravelry. It used to be a free pattern. I believe right now is $2. And last month I knit 13 squares. This month I have not been that productive at all, not with this pattern, not in general. I haven't been that productive. So you're gonna be surprised to know, I am very surprised myself that so far this month I have knit just one square and I started the second one. When I put the stitch markers here is to show like the end of the month. Usually on social media, on Instagram, I share with you the last day of the month. That's gonna happen this year. I don't know if I'm gonna be ready or done this year with this blanket pattern, but at the end of every month, I'm sharing with you progress. So if you follow me on Instagram or on Threads, Yessy's Designs is the handle. You might have seen that in the last couple months, I have been under the weather. There have been some health issues, and I am better now. Thankfully, I'm so grateful for that. But I had to take some time off from working at all. So there are small pieces that I could focus on, and that's all I could do for about 2 months. And it looks like this pattern was one of the ones that I was working on for a few days, and it took me one square and a little bit. So I'm gonna show you here some of how the blanket looks, but at the end of the month, today is July 26th. So at the end of July, you're gonna see if I knit more squares, maybe not, I don't know, let's see. So this is how it is looking right now. Look at all the colors. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern. It brings me a lot of comfort. It's one of those patterns that I can bring when we are watching a movie, especially if we have watched the movie before. It's a very easy pattern to focus on, to memorize. I don't have to look at my notes anymore when I'm working on this pattern. Now, I have quite a few partial skeins. They were not fitting on the basket that I had before. So my husband, he purchased a few months ago this basket for something else. And this is the basket that right now, let me see how I show you this. Well, look at that. This is the basket that is holding now my partial skeins. I love it. I got it away from him, so he knows that it's gonna be mine at least until I'm done with this blanket. But what he doesn't know is that I have also a lot of partial skeins in worsted weight yarn, and I'm already looking forward to work on that version of the same blanket. It's really, really a lovely pattern. You can find it on Ravelry. And let's see what happens at the end of the month. So that's all I have. Not that exciting. So let's see. I still have a few days to hopefully work on a few more squares. I would love to finish at least that row. It would be the fourth row, I believe, that I will finish from these. Blanket is gonna be a king size blanket for our bedroom, so looking forward to that. Now I'm gonna show you some, let me see, whips. Let's go with whips. I am working on a sweet pea cowl in this lovely orange. This is yarn from Blue Sky Fibers. This is their new organic cotton. This is a lovely, lovely yarn. If you have worked with cotton before, you know that some of the cotton can be rough on the hands. Some of it doesn't have really a nice drape to it. It tends to be a little thick or sturdy, if you would like to. I don't know if that's a word that I would use. I'm not sure, but let's say sturdy. It doesn't really have too much flow. But this yarn, it really has a very soft drape, and I am loving it. So this is the second Sweet Pea COWL that I'm working on with this yarn. Blue Sky Fibers gracefully sent me this yarn to try it out. I am loving it. They sent me another color that you're gonna see most likely next month. And I think even though this is cotton, because of the way it feels, it might be a very nice transitional piece, not just for the cool and mornings and evenings in the summer, but even I would say the first weeks of fall, this might be a nice piece to wear in the spring as well. It's very, very nice, and it actually feels, it gives you warmth. So I completely recommend this yarn. So soft to work on, very easy on the fingers. So right now I am working on a blog post where I am suggesting some yarns to work with this summer. I know we are like late summer already, but life happened. So I hope that when the blog post is ready and you get to read it, that maybe you get a little, or you find it interesting. Is why some yarns are more, maybe gives you more an appeal to work with during the summer. And anyway, I have some examples in there to show you, some facts about different kinds of cotton. So it's a work in progress over there. So this is one of my whips. And the other whip that I'm working on is a sweet order for a little girl. I am making a romanticist bandana. So if you see this yarn, it has some sparkle in there. So it's so fitting for a little girl. And I am using Yarn B. It's a sugar wheel cotton sparkle in the colorway Let It Go Flamingo. This is the label that comes with the yarn. This is 27% cotton and 3% metallic polyester. So I have made, I'm going to show you now in my whips, I made 2 other romanticist bandanas with the same yarn, like it's the same skein. And 3 bandanas were made with it, or one is almost done. The other ones are almost done too, but I'm going to put them in the finished pieces because the only thing that I have to do is weave in the end. So it's a very lovely yarn to work with. I have never been to Hobby Lobby. We went there last week. We had a doctor's appointment, and somehow I think we passed it. And then we came back after the appointment. So one of my neighbors, Rachel from Hearth and Wool, she recommended it at some point, and I didn't know we had one. It's not that close, but it's not that far either. So we went, we got this yarn for this order, and I love this yarn. This is the only yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby, and we got some more like little home accessories to decorate my fall markets. So I'm going to use them in my home, but I'm going to use them also when I do fall markets this year. A lot of beautiful decor in there. I'm going to show you now 2 finished pieces. So I made 2 other romanticist bandanas. This is the first one that I made with that skein. Again, this is a finished piece. I just have to put the weave in the ends, but it's done. This bandana is designed by Meredith Campbell. You can find this on Ravelry. It's a lovely, lovely pattern to work on. And I think I mentioned this in my last podcast. I don't remember, or maybe I shared that in a live on Instagram. This is the first year in all of my years making that I try to have a small collection of summer pieces because I am working at one of the local shops and we need summer inventory. So I decided to go with 3 pieces. The bandanas which my neighbors are liking very much, and I have never made a bandana before. I saw this pattern recommended. Well, the pattern wasn't recommended by somebody else, but the bandana making was recommended by one of the other makers in the shop from our lake. She mentioned you might want to make bandanas. I saw a few patterns on Ravelry, and this one was the one that really caught my eye. I really wanted to choose something that I would really love. I have never used bandanas before until now. And this pattern looks so lovely on. It's so nice to work on. And it's been my pattern on the go along with the sweet pea cowl, very easy to memorize as well. So I made that one, and I made also this one. So these are all from the same skein. So that's great too. So I'm gonna weave in the ends after I'm done recording this podcast for you. And this afternoon I'm working at the local shop, and I'm gonna bring these for my neighbors. Also a finished piece, but I have to weave in the ends. And I also have to block it, so maybe it's not a finished piece, maybe it's still a work in progress. You'll be the judge of that. So I made another sweet pea cowl in the organic cotton from Blue Sky Fibers. I really, really love these colors so much. So the yarn that they sent me in this color was enough to make 2 sweet pea cowls, and just lovely. It's a lovely pattern. If you are not familiar with this, I released this pattern this year, so you're gonna find it on my website, Ravelry, and on Etsy, the sweet pea cowl. So that's it for my works in progress that I'm gonna show you here today. What you didn't see is all the other bandanas that I worked on in the last couple months. Again, as I wasn't feeling well, this was my pattern that I was working on quite a few times along with the sweet pea cowl. Everything took so much time, but I managed to make a few, and they are already at an COWL. So if you follow them on Instagram, the handle is &company on bank. I'm going to put that in the description below. You can check the post. Melissa, the owner, she's very good about posting stories and doing lives, and she's very, she posts regularly on Instagram. So if you ever see something in there that you like, you can contact her, you can contact me, and we ship the pieces. It doesn't have to be me, it can be any of the other makers. Right now, I think we have 34 local artisans in the shop. So if there is something in there that catches your eye, you want more information about it, feel free to send us a direct message. We'll get back to you and we'll ship it. So, so if you want to see more bandanas, you can go over there and you're going to see more of what is there. Okay, let's go. And before I talk about my Rhinebeck sweater, one of the projects that I'm going to be working on like constantly in the next few weeks is going to be this pattern that I showed you the last time. I'm dropping everything. This pattern that I'm working on here is this one with yarn from Hobbies. So I showed this to you the last time. After the last episode, I think that's when I was not feeling the greatest again. So I put it on pause. So now I think I can focus on this one. So this coming week, almost every day, this is going to be one of the 2 or 3 projects that are going to be on my needles, and I cannot wait to see this pattern growing. I'm using alpaca from Hobby and Diablo. I'm holding the 2 yarns together. So Rhinebeck. It might be too early to talk about Rhinebeck, but October is going to be here before we know it. So if you're familiar with Rhinebeck, you know that we like to make our Rhinebeck sweaters. I have made 2 maybe, no 3, no 2 or 3. Now I forgot. I'll get back to that when we are closer to Rhinebeck. And this year I'm going to show you the pattern that I'm going to be working on. I met last year Olga Putano from Olga Putano Designs, and she released, let me find the page. She released this beautiful, beautiful book called Only Yoking. It's beautiful. I mean, every single design over here is so, so pretty. So I am going to show you, I'm going to be working on, let me see the name of the pattern. I think it's Finley. Yeah, it's Finley. So look at this. I'm gonna be working on this beautiful pattern. It's a fair isle design that it looks so, so lovely in fingering weight. So now I'm gonna show you the 2 yarns that I'm gonna be working for this design. So obviously there is more yarn than this, but I just need my 2 hands. Okay, well, you saw the design already on the book. So these are the 2 colors that I am gonna be working with. I saw these 2 colors together and I loved it so much. And for a while, I've been meaning to make me a piece in green, and I love the colorway on this one. So this is Leading Men Fiber Arts. I purchased these 2 yarns at my local yarn store, Stars Hollow Yarns. And this one is Chasky by Amano, also from Stars Hollow Yarn. So I cannot wait to start working on the sweater and start working on the Fair Isle part and see how these, like the contrast between these 2 colors. I'm really excited about that. So this is gonna be my Rhinebeck sweater. If you are going to Rhinebeck, let me know in the comments. If you already decided on what pattern you're gonna work on for your sweater, let me know as well. I would love to know. Last year, as it happens every year when you go to Rhinebeck, the inspiration just keeps flowing. Everybody, it's like a fashion show. Wherever you go, it's like a fashion show. You just get so much inspiration and just a lot of moments of, that is so beautiful. Stopping people to ask, what yarn do you use? What pattern is that? Or just to comment on how beautiful they look on that handmade piece that they are wearing. It's really lovely. Now, to conclude, I am going to show you something else that I'm going to be working on. I don't know exactly when. I'm thinking soon, because I think that once I start going on my Rhinebeck sweater, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be hard to stop. So I really have to plan for that. I really want to make it and finish it way before October. Also because I need to make my daughter her Rhinebeck sweater, and she hasn't decided on the pattern or the yarn. So I have to wait and see what she decides. Maybe on the next episode, I'll let you know. If you already made up her mind, I need her to make up her mind quickly so I can start planning for it. But another sweater that is gonna be on my needles is the ranunculus. It feels like it's one of those patterns that everybody has made, and like the more you see it, the more you want to make it. And I think it's time that I make my first ranunculus. One thing that I have seen with many of the makers that work on it is that they don't stop at the first sweater. They make more in different versions, different weights of yarn. So the yarn that I chose to make my first is fingering weight. So a little bit of the backstory of this yarn that I'm going to show you. Yesterday, I had to go to New Jersey. That's not close to me, but I had to go to New Jersey to deliver something. And I noticed that I was like an hour and 15 minutes away from doing it, the yarn store. I met Karen and some of the girls from her team, like Carolyn, last year also at Rhinebeck. We were sitting at the same table having lunch when it was pouring, raining outside, and we were trying to find cover. So we ended up in the same table, and I really tried not to be like a I was having a very big fun moment there. I tried to hold it together, but anyway. So I've been following them for a while, and if you follow them, you know that they just change locations, and it's been just a few months where they have been at the new shop, and it looks so lovely. Every time they showed a sneak peek or something that they were including in the shop, it was just so lovely. So I drove an extra hour and 15 minutes because I really, really wanted to go. So we made a few stops, my daughter and I, on the way. A nice coffee shop. It's a beautiful area where the shop is. It's really, really pretty. So we went in there and I chose the yarn for my ranunculus. Now, needless, I'm going to show a little footage in here. The shop was beautiful. It is so pretty. All that pink goodness in there is just tremendous, just amazing. I saw Karen, Caroline, Gail, such lovely ladies, and so happy to have met Gail. I don't think I met her last year. And they were so helpful, very lovely. And there was a table where other knitters were working on their projects. All of the projects are so beautiful. The yarns that they chose, the patterns are just beautiful. So I came back with more inspiration and and maybe a project or two that I'm gonna work on that I saw at the table over there. And some of these yarn is gonna be put to good use, or maybe I have to get new yarn. Let's see. Maybe I need to go again to doing it and get more yarn for some of the projects. At least there is a sweater that is just so lovely. When the sweater comes out, I let you know in an episode, and most likely I will get the yarn to make it because it's really, really beautiful. Okay, so I got my bag from Do We Knit in pink, of course, because it's the first time that I purchased, and it's lovely. Like, I don't need another project bag. Yes, I do. So I'm gonna show you the yarn. Well, my daughter, she got these cute cherry needle stoppers. By the way, just in case you're wondering, she's still working on her second project. Very slowly, she's working on it, but she is the queen of accessories. She has all the accessories for her needles. She has project bags, and it is it is cute. I just told her she needs to put herself together and just keep moving on with her project so she can be wearing it starting fall. She would wear it in fall. So this is a yarn that I have not worked with before. I don't think I knew about this brand either. So I took my time, obviously, looking at all the beautiful yarn that they have there. A lot of tempting options. At the end, I think I had like 3 or 4 colorways from the same yarn, from the same brand. And I just couldn't decide. So I asked my daughter, putting one skein in front of me, in front of the mirror, which one do you think looks best? I would have been okay with any of the 3 or 4 options that I had, but at the end, she chose this one. So I don't think I have anything in this color in my wardrobe. And she says, and my mom says, that I need more color in my life. So I'm gonna wear more color, I believe. So look at this. This yarn is so pretty. It's incredibly soft. This is by the Uncommon Thread Everyday Sport, 100% superwash merino wool. And it is just lovely. Let me see if there is a... oh, the colorway is Sorbet. Lovely. So this is gonna be my first ranunculus. So this is like a dream project in the next few weeks. And I would love to have it ready by the time fall begins. I really... Oh, did I mention how I wanted it? Excuse me if I'm repeating myself. I wanted short sleeves, a little longer. I like my sweaters and my tops a little longer. And I'm gonna make this one short sleeve so I can wear it with cardigans. I have so many cardigans, and I have cardigans that I wanna make as well, but I already have quite a few cardigans, so I wanna be able to use them more. And if I make it in short sleeve, I can also wear it in the spring and in the summer. So I'm going to start with that one, and then we move on from there. Now, some projects that right now are being a little neglected or on timeout, and I'm going to mention it because I know I have talked about it before. You know, my Milagro sweater, the sweater that I designed for children 2 to 12 years old, sizes 2 to 12. I'm working on the adult version. I started working on it last year, but it's been on a little timeout. There are some things that I want to change, and I just haven't had the those moments of okay, I'm just gonna focus on this project right now. So I think as soon as I finish with the deadlines that I have, like the scarf for Hobie, and there is another pattern that I have to work on, I just have to dedicate my 100% making time and towards these sweaters. So this sweater is gonna be coming. I just need to get to it. Okay, well, this is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for the time that you gave me. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let me know anything you want. Like I mentioned before, where you are tuning in from, let me know what are you doing as you watch this episode. What projects are you working on? Let me know what yarns. Let me know anything. I will be happy to know more about your making adventures this summer. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. Put the notifications on so you don't miss all the episodes that are going to be coming. That also helps me, my channel. And we are very close to the 1,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. It's quite a milestone. It's slowly growing, but it's getting there. So thank you so much for your support. And I will see you on episode 16. Happy making!